Number 6 things your old dog's tail is quietly trying to tell you. You've been watching your dog for years now. Long enough to know the difference between a real greeting and a tired one. Long enough to notice when something shifts. And lately, you've caught yourself staring at your dog's tail more than usual. The way it moves, or doesn't move, the angle it holds when your dog thinks you're not looking. You wonder if you're reading too much into it, or if there's something your dog is trying to say that you've been missing. The truth is, your old dog's tail is one of the most honest parts of their body. And once you learn to read it, you'll understand your aging dog in a way you never have before. Your dog cannot tell you where it hurts. Your dog cannot describe the stiffness that greets them in the morning. Your dog cannot explain the difference between the good days and the bad days in words you can understand. But your dog's tail speaks a language you've known all along. You just need to learn to listen. The first thing your old dog's tail might be telling you is something that surprises most people. That slow, low wag you see, the one that barely lifts the tail off the body, the one that moves side to side in a gentle rhythm while your dog watches you from across the room. That is not sadness. That is not a sign that something is wrong. That slow, low wag is actually one of the purest expressions of calm happiness your aging dog can give you. It is the opposite of the high, quick wag of a younger dog, and that matters. When your dog is 7, 8, 9 years old, the full body wiggle you saw in earlier years starts to cost more. A complete tail wag from base to tip, moving fast, requires energy and range of motion that older joints sometimes won't allow. So your dog learns to express contentment in a smaller way. That low wag, the one that moves mostly below the level of your dog's spine, that means your dog is safe, that your dog is with you, that right now, this moment, is enough. Pay attention to those wags. They're worth more than you might think. They're the language of a dog who has learned to be happy in a quieter way. But not all tail movements mean the same thing, and this is where the real skill comes in. After that low, happy wag, your dog might stand up to stretch or move toward the door. And when your dog does, you notice something that makes you pause. Your dog stands and the tail tucks. Not a nervous tuck, not a guilty tuck, a sharp, quick movement where the tail moves under the body and stays there for several seconds. This happens especially on mornings after your dog has been resting or after your dog has been playing in the yard longer than usual. When a tail tucks immediately after standing or moving in a way that suggests exertion, veterinarians widely agree that this is worth paying attention to. A tucked tail in this context is often a pain signal. It is your dog's way of protecting a sore area. The base of the tail is attached to muscles and nerves that run through the lower spine and hips. If your dog is over 8 years old and you're seeing this pattern consistently, standing, then tucking, that is a same-week vet visit. Not an emergency necessarily, but not something to wait and see about either. Your veterinarian can feel along your dog's spine and hips, can ask you questions about your dog's movement on stairs or in the yard, and can help you understand what might be happening. This is the kind of signal that, caught early, can make the next year or two much more comfortable for your dog. So you're already watching the tail differently now. You're thinking about what the wag means, about what the tuck means. But there is another tail behavior that people often mistake for pain or stiffness, and it is actually something else entirely. The stiff tail. The tail that hardly moves at all, that stands almost straight out behind your dog, that looks rigid. This is where your understanding needs to go deeper still. A stiff tail in an older dog is sometimes, but not always, a problem. Very often, it is actually a solution. Your dog's tail is a balance aid. It is an ancient tool that dogs have always used to stay upright on uneven ground, or when climbing stairs, or when shifting their weight. The older your dog gets, the more your dog might use the tail as a counterbalance. If your dog is over 9 years old and has arthritis in the hips or lower back, your dog might hold the tail stiffer than before, might keep it out straight, might resist moving it side to side, because moving it that way feels destabilizing. This is not pain, at least not in the way that tuck is pain. This is your dog adapting. This is your dog being clever. What this means for you is practical. If your dog seems to be holding the tail stiff when going up and down stairs or on sloped ground, that is actually a sign that your dog is concentrating on balance. It is a sign that those stairs might feel less secure than they used to. This is valuable information. This might mean it is time to think about a ramp. This might mean positioning yourself closer to your dog on stairs so your dog can feel your stability nearby. This might mean watching your dog navigate steps more closely and checking in with your veterinarian about whether your dog is experiencing pain that needs managing. But the stiff tail itself is often not a cry for help. It is your dog working harder to stay upright. Now, as your dog ages further, you will notice something else shifting. The wagging slows down, not just in speed, but in responsiveness. Your dog used to wag at the sound of your keys. Your dog used to wag when you walked in the door. And your dog still recognizes you. Your dog still loves you. But the tail wag, when it comes slower. It takes longer to start. It does not go as high. And you might worry that your dog is less happy, that something has changed between you. But orthopedic vets recommend understanding this as a physical reality, not an emotional one. The base of the tail, where the motion originates, is supported by muscles that run along the lower spine. In older dogs, especially those over 10 years old, these muscles can become tight. They can lose flexibility. Arthritis can develop in the joints of the tail's base. What this means is that your dog might be experiencing some resistance to movement in that area, some stiffness, some reduced range of motion. The wag is slower because moving the tail slower is more comfortable than moving it fast. This is one of the harder things to accept when you live with an aging dog. Your dog is still trying to tell you things. Your dog is still reaching out. But your dog is doing it in a way that hurts less. You cannot fix this entirely, but you can acknowledge it. You can understand it for what it is. And you can make sure your dog knows you still understand the message, even if the delivery is slower now. Let me ask you something. Have you ever watched your dog sleep and really paid attention to how your dog holds the tail? Most people have not. Most people think the tail just falls wherever it falls. But your aging dog's tail position during sleep can tell you something real about your dog's comfort level. When your dog is truly relaxed, when your dog is in deep sleep, the tail often curls. It might curl up alongside the body. It might wrap around to touch your dog's back leg. This is the tail position of a dog who feels safe, who feels settled. The tail is not extended, not rigid. It is folded, contained, comfortable. This is normal and good. But if you notice that your dog's tail is stretched out straight, even during sleep, that is worth noting. An older dog who sleeps with the tail extended, who does not curl the tail, might be experiencing tension or discomfort in the lower back. The dog might not be able to curl without pain. The dog might be keeping the tail straight because that is the most comfortable way to hold it. This is not necessarily an emergency, but it is information. This is the kind of thing that, when you mention it to your veterinarian at your dog's next checkup, can help paint a fuller picture of how your dog is experiencing life. There is one more tail behavior, though, one that most people notice but do not quite know how to understand. It is the moment that defines what it means to live with a senior dog. And it might be, in a quiet way, the most important thing your dog's tail has to tell you. Sometime in the afternoon, or perhaps in the early evening, your dog comes to find you. Your dog knows you, has always known you, but something about this moment feels different. Your dog approaches you slowly. Your dog settles near you, and then your dog's tail begins to move. Not a quick wag, not a stiff, functional hold. Something else entirely. The tail moves from the base all the way to the tip. The movement is slow. The movement is complete. The movement comes from somewhere deep, and it seems to ripple through your dog's entire body. The tail wags, and as it does, your dog's hips seem to rock slightly. Your dog's shoulders relax. The whole body softens. It is a full body wag, the kind only old dogs have perfected. Younger dogs wag with enthusiasm. Younger dogs wag like they're trying to say something fast, try to get your attention, trying to convince you of something. But your old dog, your dog who is 8 or 9 or 10 or beyond, your dog wags like they are telling you a truth that has taken years to arrive at. This wag is not excited. It is not frantic. It is deliberate. It is present. It seems to say, I am here. You are here. We are together. That is enough. It is everything. This wag is what people live for when they decide to grow old alongside a dog. This is the wag that makes sense of all the early mornings helping your dog outside. This is the wag that makes the vet visits bearable. This is the wag that justifies the careful navigation of stairs and the worries about pain and the constant watching for the next sign that your dog needs something from you. This wag is your dog, fully present, fully grateful, asking for nothing except to be where they are with you. You cannot make this wag happen. You cannot buy it or train it into existence. It only comes when your dog has lived long enough to understand what matters. It only comes when your dog has learned, through all the years of your partnership, what trust actually means. And when you see it, when you really see it, you understand that your dog is not telling you one thing. Your dog is telling you 6 things at once. That your dog is loved. That your dog is safe. That your dog, despite everything, is still happy. That the work you're doing, the watching, the noticing, the learning to read a tale like it is the most important language in the world, is the right work. That your dog knows what you're doing. And that your dog, in this slow wag, in this moment, is saying thank you. This is what your old dog's tail is trying to tell you. The low wag of contentment. The tuck that means a vet visit is needed. The stiff tail that means your dog is working to stay balanced. The slower wag that means the muscles are tiring. The tail position during sleep that speaks to comfort. And finally, the slow full body wag that only dogs who have lived a long time with someone they love can master. It is a language you have been learning for years without knowing it. The question now is whether you will keep listening. If you live with a dog who is 7 years old or older, if you're watching them age and wanting to understand them better, if you're trying to read the quiet signals they send, then you are already on the right path. Keep watching. Keep noticing. Keep learning your dog's language. And when you see that full body wag, know that it is your dog telling you everything is going to be okay for as long as you are both here. Remember, everything you have heard today is educational and not medical advice. When you see signs that concern you, talk to your veterinarian. But between those visits, keep your eyes open.